welcome to Motivational Monday with me, your girl, Jackie O. Y'all, I hope you are ready for tonight. Tonight is going to be a super hot show. So go ahead, grab your pens, your pads, and let us know where you are viewing from in the comment streets. In the comment section, let us know that you're here. Tap the hearts and let us know where you are viewing us from on this evening. So a little bit about me, Jackie O. This is a platform that we have created to help you to think well and to live well. So not just to live your best life, but to live a well life. And so some of the things that we do with the Jackie O community to do that is, of course, this show, Motivational Monday with Jackie O, which airs every first Monday of the month at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it streams live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So we are so grateful that you are here on this evening. We talk about all types of topics. You name it, we've talked about it. Our guests have ranged from all over the world, Ghana, the Philippines, Kuwait. We've been there, Japan, and here, of course, the States. And these women have shared with us their expertise, and they have shared information to, not for you just to take it in, but they are sharing information for you to take action so that you can live a well life. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to Motivational Monday with me, your girl, Jackie O. And I hope you are ready for this show because we are ready. So again, let us know in the comment section where you are viewing us from. All right, we have someone from the Woodlands. Thank you so much. Tap the hearts. And also share. Okay, y'all share this broadcast. We are doing a giveaway tonight, and I'll be sharing a little bit more about that giveaway. But go ahead and share this broadcast. And what you'll do is put hashtag shared the extraordinary. Hashtag shared the extraordinary. And so, all right, thank you. We see Cleburne in the house. Shared the extraordinary. And when you do that, your name will go into a drawing and we will have a giveaway. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what the giveaway is, right? This is so, it's good, y'all. Look at this bag. The bag's already heavy. So I can't let you see all of the goodies, but here's the bag. It says stuff. It's going to be a lot of good stuff in it. It's a really nice little canvas bag with a nice handle, super cute. And some of the things that we're going to have in there is Dr. Mia Wright's book, The Unthinkable. Everybody should have a copy. If you do not have a copy, you can get it on Amazon. But if you share this broadcast, your name will go into the drawing and you could possibly be a winner. We also have my 21-day devotional, 21 days, glow through it. Really great. For 21 days, there's a scripture in here. And you will write what God is saying to you after you've meditated on that scripture. Then we have this beautiful, y'all look at this. You can do anything with this. I actually have one and I put bath salts in it and put it around my bathtub. So again, you could do that. That's going to be in the giveaway. So be sure that you're sharing this live video. And then we have some of our products from the Glow collection. We have our cuticle serum and our top selling calming butter. Yes. So be sure that you're sharing and put hashtag shared the extraordinary. And you'll see that in the little ticker also at below the screen. All right. Hey, Houston is in the house as well. Thank you again for everyone that's joining. Please let us know where you're joining from. Again, we hope you have your pens, your pads, because we have some amazing information that is going to be shared by Dr. Mia Wright on this evening. We will be talking about the unthinkable, unleashing the unthinkable, second chances, and living your extraordinary life. So if you are ready, I'm ready, and we are going to introduce none other than our very special guest, Dr. Mia K. Wright, as soon as this video plays.
Dr. Mia K. Wright, a leading organizational change leader with more than 20 years of nonprofit executive leadership. She inspires people around the globe to pursue their purpose and passion for living. Not to be boxed in, Mia Wright is a lifelong student, always seeking to improve and learn. She earned her doctoral degree at the University of Southern California in organizational change and leadership. Her area of research explored social capital development and virtual religious communities. She also holds a Master of Divinity degree and a Bachelor of Arts in Biology and Chemistry. At the Fountain of Praise in Houston, Texas, a megachurch with 20,000 plus members, Mia co-pastors with her husband, Dr. Remus Wright. Ordained in 2005, Mia preaches, teaches, leads the social media platforms, and oversees ministries. She is also the executive director of Metamorphosis Conference, a global women's and girls empowerment organization. A geography enthusiast and avid traveler, Mia has visited 68 countries. She loves languages, is still perfecting her Spanish, and has self-taught herself basic Portuguese. Mia also loves Latin dances. Known for her tech skills, Mia is often a tutor for tech and leveraged these skills in her previous positions in Merck and AstraZeneca Pharmaceuticals as a development specialist. Additionally, she is a supermom to her 3 sons, a doctor, lawyer, and minister. Mia uses her platforms as a synergist and a motivator to encourage those to live a positive, healthy, and inspired lifestyle. Mia's inspirational book, Unthinkable, Do the Unordinary to Experience the Extraordinary, is available on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. Please help us welcome the beautiful, the phenomenal Dr. Mia K. Wright.
Hello, Dr. Mia. You're on mute. Can you? You're
There
on
it
mute.
is. Oh, wow. Wow, Jackie O, what an incredible video. Thank you so much for that lovely, lovely, lovely introduction. That was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much for being here with us on this evening, accepting our invitation to be our guest on this evening.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you. I'm taking my glasses off.
Oh,
Pleasure and honor to be here with you. To see how God has really blessed you and how He's using you to reach women in so many different areas and really inspiring them to have this well-rounded life, to think well and to live well. So thank you again for having me on your show to be a part of this as well.
thank you. Thank you again. And thank you to everyone that is tuning in. And again, let us know where you're tuning from. And we're going to be interactive tonight. So we'll be asking you guys questions too for you to put in the comment streets. That's what we're going to call it. Not the comment section, but we're going to be in the comment streets tonight. So y'all get ready to be in the streets. Okay. And we are going to have a really good time, but as well as have some receive very valuable information on this evening. So Dr. Mia, we're going to hop right into our show. I know that we had a brief show on Thursday for probably about 5-10 minutes, and we gave everyone a sneak peek of what was to come for tonight. And one of the things that we talked about was how fear keeps us from moving forward and living that unthinkable life, and doing the unthinkable rather, and living an extraordinary life. And we talked about just different things about that. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that, as well as we're going to share the 7 tips that you need to unleash your potential so that you can live an extraordinary life. And another thing we talked about was just embracing those second chances, right? Because we know sometimes they're not failures, they are lessons learned, that things happen in life and we do get another chance, not to redo life, but we get a second chance at an opportunity that we can seize. And so we'll be talking about all of those wonderful things on this evening. But I want to go ahead and just hop right into the show and talk a little bit about Pastor Mir. I would like for you to share with us a time that you experienced a second chance in life that led you to do something extraordinary.
Thank you. That's a really incredible question. It's a good question because so often when we frame our experiences, most of us put things in either success or failure, and we
Mhm.
don't put them under learned experiences. And Jacquie, when we don't start to seek out what was the purpose, what was the meaning, why would God allow me to go through certain situations or to try so hard and not see the results that I thought I would get, what I desired. My plan was a 5-year plan, and in 3 years, it failed. And then what do I do with this? And so we allow these emotions and fears and things to define us in so many different ways. Now, for me, I have so many experiences that I could share, but what comes to mind initially was when I lost my last son. And
Mhm.
so I had gotten pregnant. I had actually 2 miscarriages, and then I finally got pregnant. And the second miscarriage was the Sunday my husband announced to the whole church that I was pregnant. And I'm like, no, don't say nothing. Don't say anything. And that very same day, I lost a child. And that was really difficult, having to go back the next week with people coming up to me. Oh, I heard y'all are pregnant. And so excited about that. And I'm like, no, we're not. No, we're not. And having to really have to face that head on, because there are times that it's not necessarily our actions that
Mhm.
causes something to not go the way that we thought in
Right.
life, right? And so something like a miscarriage was so difficult for me because I had never experienced it prior to this time. And the first couple uh, babies and pregnancies I had, asked my husband, "Hey, you want to have a baby?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was pregnant, and then we had a baby. So it was no struggles, no trial or anything. So this time it had been like a 6 or 7 year period in between, and I was like, "Why is this so difficult?" Because I truly felt like God had told me to open up my heart to have another child.
Mhm.
And so either I'm not hearing from God, or God is saying no to me, or God is tricking me. And that
Mhm.
was really a hard thing for me to try to understand. What was that experience? So I on the third pregnancy, after third time trying on this one, I did get pregnant and I carried my child, but he was born stillborn. And
Mhm.
that was another level of really trying to understand God's experience, of that experience, and what God's message was for me through all of that. And God had told me that I would have daughters, is what he was saying daughters. And I was thinking, am I having twin girls, or I'm having 4 kids, I'm having 2 more kids, or and I'm trying to put it in to
Right.
my definition of what God could mean.
Mhm.
And actually, what God was doing in that time was that he was birthing metamorphosis, which became my women's empowerment movement. And over the years, there have been more than 100,000 women who have come through metamorphosis, who have experienced it in the United States, in Brazil, in South Africa, in Tanzania. So, all around the world, women have experienced what God had given to me, which
Mhm.
was this power of understanding who I was in Him, and then the empowerment to become better in my circumstance, to live well. I like how you said that, to learn to live well, but not just for me, but for others, to help them live well also. And so this, what I could have called failure in
Mhm.
not understanding what God was saying to me, or doing what I thought within the frame of what I knew that God was saying that I needed to do, I could have failed in that. I could have stepped back. I could have quit, but
Yeah.
yet I sought it even with a greater sense of desire and want, because I knew that it was still something that God was doing. Every year there would be women coming up telling me, "I'm your daughter, you're my spiritual mother," and I'd be like, I'm not, I'm not qualified for that." But what I found was that He was qualifying me for it, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
I was looking at my circumstance from a human mindset, from a
Mhm.
human framework, from my lens, and not truly understanding what God had was bigger than
Right.
one person. It was bigger than birthing a child. It was birthing and rebirthing into women's lives, their purpose, their
Right.
desire, their following after God. And so it was so much bigger, but I could have stopped and I could have quit, because all of this happened in the same time frame. It was all happening the same year that metamorphosis was being birthed. I could have quit and just said, no, I don't believe things that God is saying is good safe for me.
Yeah.
But yet I decided to push forward, and I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah. Pastor Mian, that's just what we're talking about. You embracing, pushing forward and embracing that other chance or the opportunities, right? You
Mhm.
didn't close down, you didn't shut down and be like, oh, okay, I'm just not going to do this, because we do know that there is a bigger plan. And a lot of times we don't see it. And that's where our trust and our faith comes in God, that, okay, God, this is happening for a reason, like what you were saying. And so I'm just going to trust you and see where I go, see
Yeah,
where you take me, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Are truly pivotal, I'm not saying that word, right? Pivotal points in our lives
Mhm.
that we could go one way or the other.
Right.
And when we learn to trust God by faith, and it
Yeah.
becomes almost that blind faith, that faith of really not knowing what's on the other side, we can
Mhm.
go back to what is comfortable, what we already know, what we've experienced already,
Mhm.
and work it out on our own.
Right.
I got this. I know what to go back to. I think about in the Bible, Hagar
Mhm.
was a slave girl of Abraham and Sarah. And when they treated her harshly, she ran. She ran back to Egypt. And that was what she knew. But God met her on this road, on her pathway there. And he asked her, "Where are you going?" And she was like, "Well, everybody's treating me so harshly." But God turned her back around and told her, "Go back." And
Mhm.
she had to go back to that same environment where she had been treated harshly, but she had to go back with a different attitude. And
Yeah.
so I think about that often, and how we have this opportunity to represent ourselves
Yes.
with a different attitude, with a different mindset, same circumstance,
Uh,
but it's up to us to present ourselves differently. And so
mhm.
when we show up differently, our circumstance becomes different.
Right. I
And so,
loved how you said that. Showing up with a different attitude. That
yeah.
is so important. And we touched a little bit on that Thursday, and that goes with the mindset and shifting your mindset. And so that is a really good one. That's a great tip too, y'all. I hope you took notes. Y'all wrote that down. Okay. Um, that's a good one. And so when you talk about resilience, right? What role does resilience play in your journey of taking on new and extraordinary challenges?
Oh, wow. I think we all have degrees of resiliency, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
that bounce back. So it's a big word that some people are like, what is that? What does that really mean? It's really that bounce back.
Hmm.
And Jackie, God has given all of us the ability to overcome.
Yes.
Some people get stuck, and some things we get stuck in, even those of us who have great resiliency and we overcome, like, I'm gonna keep going. Sometimes things hinder us, right? Because we want to continue to
Mhm.
process it, or we want to continue to spend time and wallow in it. I hope I'm hitting a nerve for somebody.
Yeah.
Or we want to continue to force something that isn't working.
Right.
And yet when we learn to shift, that's a great mark, our hallmark as a leader in particular, is learning to shift. If COVID-19 didn't teach anybody anything, it taught us that we know how to shift, we know how to pivot,
That's
we know how
right.
to make a change and not get stuck.
Yeah.
But that resiliency lets me know that I can overcome whatever I have gotten stuck with, or I've, didn't have the outcome I look for. I try not to use the word failure as much because, like you said, there are experiences. So I learned to take that resiliency and move forward to the next thing. So
Mhm.
part of it is processing it, but don't get stuck processing it. Don't
Yeah.
just, the analysis paralysis.
Yep.
that's
Yep.
that's a
Yep.
big issue for a lot of folks. We have analysis paralysis. We're steady thinking through it, right?
Yep.
But yes, the resiliency it's such a very strong part of our lives. And I think if we take a moment and look back over our lives and just reflect on some of those moments
Mhm.
where you did overcome something, where you did make something happen out of nothing, where you saw somebody else and you said, well, if God did it for them, he can do it for me. Or if someone helped me through this, I can believe that I can come through it too.
Yeah.
So if we all do that, we'll find ourselves less stuck in a lot of places, unstuck. And so,
Okay.
resiliency is such an important part of all of our lives. But we can't, don't get stuck with paralysis analysis, but learn how to move forward.
How to move forward. That's right. How to push forward. Listen, I want y'all to put in the comment streets. Remember our comment streets. Put in the comment streets something that a time when you just had to be, you used that resilience, right? And you bounced back, you came back, you didn't allow that setback to keep you stuck in a place. Put that in the comment section. We would love to hear from you about that. So, Dr. Mia, how do you stay open? How do you stay open to new opportunities and possibilities even after experiencing these setbacks and lessons learned? How do you stay open?
You know, I keep a positive mindset as much as possible, right? So I try not to wallow in self pity or to look backwards, keep looking backwards all the time, and always, trying to think, well, how could I have not done this, or what else could I have done? I try to do that as often as maybe I should sometimes kind of look back and spend more time reflecting.
Mhm.
But I surround myself with people who have good ideas. Um, I can't remember which one of my mentors, but one of them told me, when you walk into a room, you should never be the smartest person. And if you are, you need some more people around you. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, I like that. So I
Mhm.
try to surround myself with good people, and not just people that have positive mindsets, but people who also are like me, right? Who like to think, what's next?
Mhm.
People who are looking to embrace the next thing in life.
Right.
People who aren't afraid to try stuff. I am a adventurous person by nature, and so I saw you included in the video some of the things that I've done that maybe I thought about for years. How can I do this, or where can I do this? And when I find myself in that place, like, I'm going to do it. I don't sit a lot of time just kind of thinking about it, like, "Oh, should I? What about the safety protocols? And what
Yeah.
about if I fall?" I don't think about that. I think, what if I leap, and what happens?
Yeah.
And what's it like to fly? Or
Yeah.
what's it like to see underneath the ocean? Or what's it like to go experience something new?
Mhm.
So I think just really bottom line is that I try to really surround myself with people who have a positive mindset, who are thinking big, who are thinking next level. And then also for me to keep myself open in that sense so that I am willing to give it a try. I don't want to get stuck in 1988 or 2001 or Y2K.
Right. Right. Right.
And I don't want to get stuck in 2020 either, because I have a lot of references. We all do kind of as a point in life, right? To 2020. That's when the pandemic affected the entire world,
Mhm.
right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't want to get stuck there. I want to see what's next. What's going to be the next thing that God's going to do? What's the opportunity coming forth? And trying not to be afraid to try it.
Mhm.
Break fear so that you can try it.
Yeah, I like that because being that risk taker, right? Because we never know if we can do it if we never step out and do it. And as you were talking about that, I was just thinking about my own experiences of how I've done different things. And people were like, "You're going to do that?" I'll never forget, I went to this women's conference in Puerto Rico. I didn't know anybody. And I was telling my mom, and she said, "You're going to go all the way to Puerto Rico and you don't even know those people. It was in a Facebook group and you met them." I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do it."
Yeah.
And I did. I did it, and I met some women, and I'm still, in contact with them now. And even when I went overseas and I worked, that was another thing. Like, yeah, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it. So I think we should be open to trying and stepping out to see, okay, I can do this. Because if
Mhm.
we never try it, we would never know what would happen.
You know, I think you shared it in the opening that I like to dance. So
Mhm.
this was I kept a journal during the time that I started dancing. I used to dance when I was younger, and then after I got married to a pastor, Jackie, I just kind of was like, oh, I guess I can't dance anymore. So I
Mhm.
would be that one person at everybody's wedding that was still on the dance floor, and I'll be like, y'all don't mind me, I don't get out much. Like, oh, is that the pastor's wife? She won't sit down. I was like, don't worry about me. I
Yeah.
just really want to move. So I remember at one time I was watching some movie one night. It was right before one of my big birthdays, 40 or something, maybe 50. And I was like, oh man, I watched this movie and I watched this girl who couldn't dance and she was learning a new Latin dance. I thought, you know what? if this girl, I'm sure she probably was a decent dancer, but if this girl in this story can learn how to dance, surely I can do it. And so I signed up that night. I signed
Right.
up. I just Googled Latin dance classes near me. And I signed up for a class, and I didn't know anybody. And so when I showed up, I
Mhm.
sat in my car like 15 minutes trying to talk myself out of this. Okay.
Mm.
This is important. I want everybody to get that part. To talk myself out of this, not talk myself into it, but talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
So I kept saying, oh, you're not going to know anybody in here. What if you really suck at dancing? You haven't danced in like 15, 20 years. What,
Yeah.
what if they all speak Spanish? You don't speak Spanish that well. So why don't you just leave the whole time? And I kept thinking, what if somebody knows you and you're a pastor's wife and you're, a pastor and you're showing up in here for a dance class? What if somebody thinks you
Mm.
shouldn't be there? So I had so many reasons to talk myself out of this. But somehow that day, I got myself out of that car and I went inside that dance studio.
Yep.
It was like one of the best decisions I could have ever made. And I had so much fun. It was, first of all, it was super empowering. It was
Mhm.
empowering to show up as an individual that didn't know anybody in the room.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody and nobody knew me. And
Yeah.
so it was awesome. So it helped me to move and return back to something I loved to do at one time in my life and to learn something new because it's new variations. And I was just so, when I left, I sat in the car for another 15 to 20 minutes just journaling about
Mm.
the things I learned. Not, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but learning to follow a partner, learning to trust, learning to not look at feet, not
Mhm.
look at feet, right? Where are the steps? But
Right.
look at eyes to see, where am I supposed to be? To
Mm.
be more cognizant of myself and the space that I'm in. Though I'm not swinging my arms and hitting somebody.
Right.
To be more intuitive with the music and the rhythm, to
Mm.
see how the flow goes, to trust it, and to
Yeah.
trust myself.
Yeah.
These were lessons I wrote. I call them lessons of the dance. And I keep saying I want to write a little book about it or something, lessons of the dance, because it taught me so much that day. It was so empowering. If I had sat there and talked myself out
Yeah.
of it, then there would, I would have never enjoyed the last 10 years or so of my dancing life, meeting people all around the world, meeting people even in the city, building new friendships that are
Yeah.
not in my normal place and normal space. And listen, I'm still my same self, no matter where I am. I'm the one people will come up and ask me, hey, will you pray for me? Or, hey, I lost somebody in my family. Will you, talk to somebody? So they know who I am because
Right.
of who I am doesn't change. No matter
Right.
what my setting is, it doesn't change. So it's just, I don't know. I think that if more people, and that's always my goal in sharing stuff, if more people would become inspired to get out of the box of what is
Yes.
ordinary for them, they'll sense and they'll know extraordinariness in their life. They'll see
Mhm.
what God has for them. It's bigger.
Yeah.
They'll get out of the routine of, going to work, coming home, cooking dinner, eating dinner, watching TV, going to bed,
Yeah.
going to work. There's a routine that we all can have.
Right.
Do something different.
Yeah.
Explore something. Go somewhere where you don't know anybody. Have you ever been to a movie by yourself?
Yes.
That was empowering.
Yes.
That was quite empowering. To
Yeah.
walk into the theater by yourself with your own box of popcorn, sit down, eat, and watch the movie and enjoy it. Just do it.
Just do it. Yes. Yes. That is so true. Absolutely. And really just what the comment said, just do it. Just step out. But it's something about how we, just like you said, you sat in the car for so long just trying to think of all these different scenarios, like why I shouldn't do this? Why, instead of just stepping out and doing it.
Mhm.
But it was really great that you decided, you know what, I'm going to get out and I'm going to do this. And now look at what happened with you doing that again, y'all. So it's all about stepping out and doing it, just doing it. Someone said, do something different. Absolutely. Learn how to do something different and not the everyday. We are getting ready to go to our commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the 7 tips, y'all, 7 tips so that you can live your extraordinary life. And Dr. Mia is going to be sharing that with us as soon as we come back from this commercial break. We'll be right back.
Imagine a scenario where you miss a golden opportunity, leaving you disheartened and disappointed. Hold on, because there's a glimmer of hope. You're granted another chance to make things right, a second chance that has the potential to unlock the extraordinary within you. Don't give up on yourself yet. Remember, it's never too late to turn things around and achieve greatness. Prioritizing self-care is crucial. Have you established a personal self-care routine? If you're seeking to kickstart your journey, feel free to explore our website at www.jackieo.com and access our complimentary self-care journal. Remember, self-care is becoming increasingly recognized as a fundamental aspect of maintaining overall well-being. Self-care is the new healthcare. Looking to be inspired and motivated? Join us for Motivational Monday with Jackie O every first Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, streaming live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Instagram at Jackie O. For more information on Jackie O, visit us at www.jackieo.com. Discover the ultimate all-natural skincare line, the Glow Collection by Jackie O. This luxurious line of hand-whipped skincare products is like gourmet food for your skin. Our collection features a cleanser, toner, serum, and moisturizer, all carefully crafted with natural ingredients. Additionally, we offer a cuticle oil, beard serum, and our best-selling calming butter. Shop the Glow Collection by Jackie O at www.jackieo.com or find us at the Family Nutrition Center in Cleburne, Texas, as well as on Walmart.com and Handmade by Amazon. Experience the difference of all natural skincare with the Glow Collection by Jackie O.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. And we are still talking to Dr. Mia K. Wright. And tonight we are talking about embracing second chances, unleashing your potential so that you can live your extraordinary life. You can live a well life as well. And you can also think well. You know, sometimes our thoughts, so we need to be thinking well. And so that is what we're talking about on this evening. So again, welcome back. And for those of you that are just joining us, please be sure to go back and watch the replay because we have already, the first half of the show, shared some really good information that we know will bless you and that will help you to live your extraordinary life. So now we're going to talk about the 7 tips of unleashing the unthinkable so that you can live the extraordinary life. And we have discussed some of them in the first half, but we're just going to go through these tips and share them with you. So get your paper ready and your pen, because here we go. So Dr. Mia, the first one is, let's talk about embrace fear and failure.
Yeah. So that's part of shifting your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of saying, okay, if I fail, I'm going to fail fast and fail forward. That's
Yeah.
what a lot of thought leaders are teaching us, that if you're going to fail, to do it quickly and then learn from it so
Mm-hmm.
that you don't repeat the same mistake or recognize any patterns that need to be broken or changed or any challenges that you have. You need to shift those mindsets around that. But when you want to embrace fear or failure, then you have to face it head on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen a lot of these little memes. They have a lot of videos on Instagram. It's like, if a shark comes to attack you and you're supposed to turn around and face it and hit him in the nose and something, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind. I really don't want to meet the shark, but hey,
Yeah.
I'm learning how to push a shark away. Just
Yep.
in case I ever need that. But I mean, you can't outswim a shark, right? So
Right.
If
That's
nothing else, perhaps this works because the people that are recording it is working for them. So
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Number two, set audacious goals.
I love that. That
Yeah.
means set the goals. We Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now unto him who's able to do immeasurably above all we could ever ask or think." I use that as a foundation for many things in my life. It was the foundation for my book, Unthinkable. But it doesn't stop there. It says, according to the power at work in you.
Mhm.
And so for every person, we have the ability to tap into a God that can do exceedingly above, abundantly above. One version says immeasurably above. So we have the ability to tap into this God that is not bound by our limited thinking. He
Mhm.
is unlimited. And so for the things that we want to do, sometimes we think so big that we outthink ourselves and we outthink our crowd. Ooh,
Mm,
down a little bit further down, but
good
we
one.
outthink our crowd. And when we outthink our crowd, many times people are like, "Oh, how are you going to do that? Why would you do that?"
Yeah.
Because for some of them, they can't embrace the bigness that God has in you. Can I help you with that? God is
Yeah.
big, and stop being small. That's
Yeah.
somebody
Oh,
need
okay.
this
That's
too.
good. Yeah.
God made you big, so stop being small. Stop playing it small.
Hmm.
And so when I start to think these audacious goals, right? That's setting things that are like, whoa, this is out of my possibility. But I have to trust God in that.
Yeah.
Because it's two things. One, if I set it low and I hit it all by myself all the time, then I don't have to trust God. But if I set it big and I have to walk by faith in some of these things, then I
Mhm.
see God do great things in and through me. And I watch God do better things than I could ever imagined. And
Yes.
so don't limit yourself by what you already know.
That's
Don't
right.
limit yourself by your human thinking. Think big thoughts. And when you pray, pray
Mm,
that. Ask God, God, give me a big thought. Give
yeah.
me big goals, big things, God.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid, because that's another thing. I don't even know if I have it on here, but that's another thing, that when we have those audacious goals, don't be afraid to put in the work.
Yes. Because we have to put in the work.
You have to put in the work. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think Abraham Lincoln had a quote that said, some people are fearful of doing big things because it means that it looks like, no, because it looks like work.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to put in the work, because
Yeah.
God's not going to just drop it on you. He can.
Yeah.
He might just send it from heaven, boom, and but he wants to know, can he trust you with it? Can he
Absolutely.
trust you with it? Because the small things we start with, but can
Right.
God trust you with the big things?
With the big ones. Yeah.
And you'll know when he puts it in your heart to do it. You'll know that he believes he can trust you with that. And then you got to
Absolutely.
put it in the work, because faith without works is dead.
It's dead. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Y'all put in the comment streets, I will put in the work. Y'all type that in. I will put in the work. And I have big dreams and I'm going to put in the work. There we go. The next one is, and we talked a little bit about this already, is just cultivating that growth mindset.
Hmm.
Cultivating that growth mindset.
Yeah, you know what? My one of my grandchildren, she would always say, "I can't do that. I can't do that." Everything was, "I can't do that." And finally, she said something to me one day. She corrected herself. She said, "That's a limited mindset. Let me think about it." And I was like really kind of shocked to hear an 8-year-old. I think she was 7 or 6 at that time. She said, "That's a limited mindset." I was like, "Oh, so you
Hmm.
do understand what you're saying? The power of your words. The
Yeah.
power of your words. We speak things that we act upon because
Right.
we believe it, then we speak it and we act it."
Right.
And so she was saying that, "Oh, what I'm saying is limited." I took her to climb to a rock climbing wall. And I don't know if people are familiar with that, but it's like
Hmm.
you're in a harness and you got to climb up 10, 20 feet. And I took her to a rock climbing wall because I knew that she thought she couldn't do it.
Hmm.
I knew that she had in her mindset, nope. The moment she got there, she's like, "Woo!" She saw the wall. She was completely intimidated by it. But
Hmm.
she has athleticism. She has it in her bones. I was an athlete. My son's an athlete.
Hmm.
She's got athleticism in her bones. I see how she runs, how she walks, and how she moves. So I said, "We gotta climb this wall." And so I got in the harness, and she did too.
Hmm.
And she climbed this rock wall. which was incredible because she had been saying the whole time, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too
Right.
high. It's too, I don't know how to do this. I've never done anything like this before. So we have to really cultivate a growth mindset. So that around that it becomes not just risk taking, right? Because we have to take some calculated risks. We do have to take calculated risks in life, but also understanding that we can limit our mindset or we can cultivate a growth mindset. And if
Yeah.
we limit our mindset, it's like little ideas, little power, little experience. But if we open up our big mindset, big ideas,
Yeah.
big experiences, big power.
Love it. Love it. The next one is surround yourself with the right people. Surround yourself with the right people.
Boom, boom. You're the smartest chick in the room. Get some smart friends. Get
There you
some
go.
smarter friends. Yes. So that's really just the truth. Put people around you. Let me just say this, and this is a message for other leaders, especially because
Mhm.
a lot of times we feel like, oh, if I ask somebody, they're already busy. If I ask them, they're going to be too busy to help me. I have
Yes.
been asked to do some stuff that other people would be like, I can't believe she's doing that. Like, I can't believe she's doing that because I'm a servant at heart.
Right.
And so I'm going to serve. So there are plenty of things that I am more than willing to do because somebody has asked me to do it. My
Yeah.
mother would always say, people want to get involved, people want to help.
Mhm.
But if you never ask them, they won't. And I
Right.
would be like, ah, people are people, they're adults. And, if you say, hey, we need some help, they'll show up. But she said, no, you ask people individually
Mhm.
and you ask them based on what their capacity may be or their
Right.
capabilities or skills. And you ask them to get involved with what you're doing. And I would be like, I'm always arguing against it until I come to find out that she was 100% spot on with that.
Yeah.
People, even busy people, love to share. They
Mhm.
love to share knowledge. They love to get engaged. They love to help. And
Yeah.
so if we ask people, hey, will you be part of my circle? Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I'm working on something. I love to get your input.
Mhm.
Surround yourself with those kind of people who can bring value to your team. Get a team. Get yourself a team. Right.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
That is so true. The next one is be persistent and consistent.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like doing the work and being persistent with it. If you have a dream, if you have a vision that God has given you, then no shouldn't be an acceptable answer.
Mhm.
Do you know? I don't know how many people have heard the story of I'm just blanking on her name right now. Kathy Hughes, owner of Radio One.
Yes.
Have you heard her story? And
Yes.
Kathy tells her story for those who've not heard it, that
Yeah.
she was told no 33 times
Mhm.
before she got a yes. And when I say she was told no, she had a radio station that was a small station, and she wanted to buy more to build Radio One. She was living in the station. She
Mhm.
didn't have an apartment or a home any longer. She was sleeping in her station. She said she watched out of the window when they towed her car off.
Mm.
And she said she was going to the bank regularly applying for loans, and they told her no 33 times. And she got a yes on the last time. How many of us would have quit, would have walked away because somebody told us no on the first or second time?
Yeah.
Too
Exactly.
many of us would have. But look at what Radio One has done now. They're the largest African American R&B streaming station, have other stations up under gospel, news, radio, all of these things because this woman refused to be told no,
No.
accept that no.
Yeah.
So be persistent, put in
Yeah.
the work, go to YouTube University, take
Yes.
a class somewhere. Sign up, find out where your SBA information is in your city so you can start your own business if that is what you're seeking to do.
Yes.
Find the answers. Google gives us so many resources, so we have no excuse
No
to not
excuses.
put in the work and find out where those resources are. We can find them and we can do it and we can learn to
Yes.
do it.
And there's so many resources that are out there, as you were saying.
Absolutely.
So, who is signing up for YouTube University? We need to know who's signing up. And
Yep.
it's free, y'all. You won't have to pay a tuition. Okay. So, go ahead
Yep.
and sign up. There you have it.
Exactly.
So our seventh tip, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to come back because our seventh tip is a really good one. It's a really, really good one. And we're going to be talking about forgiveness. That's a really good one because we need to forgive in order to live that extraordinary life. So we will be right back, and we are going to come right back and just explain a little bit, talk a little bit more about forgiveness. But we have a short a segment from our transformative coach for Motivational Monday, and she is going to take us on into the topic forgiveness. We'll be right back.
I promise to forgive someone who I've been holding a resentment against or a grudge against. And you can do that today, tomorrow, this week, next week, depends on how many people you have to forgive. So this doesn't mean that you agree with what they did. It doesn't mean that you condone what they did. Forgiveness is a very different model than agreement or condoning. So it doesn't even mean that you understand why they did what they did. All that forgiveness means is that you are giving up the desire to punish. You're giving up the resentment. And if you think about it, if you give something up, it creates space just from a physical perspective. So when you hold on to resentment or regret or grudges, there's a piece of your heart that's closed down. So ultimately, forgiveness is really more for you than for them, but it keeps you disconnected from people. So the promise is to forgive someone who you've been holding a resentment against. And the commitment with this promise is to let go of the everyday resentments that keep you disconnected from people. So how do you do it? You may ask. Here's a way to do it. Make a list of anybody that you currently have a resentment with or regret with or a grudge against, could be big or small, and write down all the things that holding that resentment costs you. Your well-being, your peace of mind, your satisfaction, your aliveness and vibrancy. Then after you write down what it's costing you, write down 5 great things about that person, each person on your list, and ask yourself the question, is it worth it? Is it worth being right over being happy? Is it worth being right over being at peace? Because as long as you hold on to that resentment, there is a piece of your heart shut down, which robs you of peace of mind. So in a very, very real way, this is for you, to give you a second chance. And sometimes the person you need to forgive the most is yourself.
I really like that. And we actually missed one tip, but we're going to stay in this forgiveness and we're going to share that other tip after this one. I liked everything she said, but I really like the end where we need to forgive ourselves.
Yeah. That's so important. And, part of it comes in when we're talking about failures.
Yeah.
And sometimes we see ourselves as a failure in some area or some area of our life where we didn't succeed in the manner that we wanted. And so we hold on to that grudge against ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And we learn to not trust ourselves, and we set boundaries around our own self.
Yeah.
So if it's a relationship that didn't work out, then we're super cautious as we go into anything else, or we don't go into another relationship because we don't trust that we could be good in it, or we don't trust how somebody else may be able to deal with our emotions. We deal with our emotions. And so releasing that forgiveness, the part that really hit me was where she said, it's good for us. It's good for you, the individual. When you forgive, you create space in your life. You open up space and opportunity for you to either love again or try again or to do something different, and you create that space, because forgiveness takes up a whole lot. Unforgiveness takes up a lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
It does. It really does. I think we all can imagine, right? Walk into a room, we see the person we have not forgiven. Ugh, there they are again, or having a deal, or we pick up something, or there's some memory. There's a song come on the radio, and we're like, that radio station, because we don't want to hear it. It takes up so much energy. The truth is. And, while that person's gone on living their life, living their best life, and you're over there mad because Okay, anyway, it's not always about relationships, but
Right.
it's often with other people that we do not house unforgiveness, and then with
Mhm.
ourselves, that's a point of trust and being able to say, you know, I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to work on this to improve myself, but I'm not going to let this hold me back any longer.
That's right. That's right. I love it. And hold me hostage, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so the other one that we missed earlier is to embrace creativity and innovation.
Yeah.
Embrace creativity and innovation. I like that one.
I do too. I do too. And that's one of the things that I try to stay up on. As you mentioned in the trailer, that
Mm,
my introduction, you said I did my doctoral work
mm,
on creating social capital in our digital or virtual religious communities. And so I had pretty much selected that before the pandemic happened. And then the pandemic happened, and we had to do that. And so I thought it was really so important because, you know, when we're not in a virtual space, right? We learn about people, we know where people's experiences are. Like, oh, I have a kid that wants to go to Howard. Oh, I have family that went to Howard. And we can introduce them. Oh, you're having a hard time. Let me show you how to fill in this application. Or, oh, you need a babysitter. I know 5 kids that babysit, you know, and you learn those things in a religious setting. If you're in a church, a lot of
yeah.
times you learn in a small group or in a Bible study or something like that, or at Sunday school. But
Mhm,
when you're in a virtual space, you don't have that. You don't have
mhm.
the opportunity to get to know people like that, and you have to trust by their name that they are who they say they are. And
Yeah.
so you're building relationships in a different setting and a different background. And so part of being innovative is really starting to think for me is how do we use this digital space, this virtual space that we're in, and what's out here for us to grow and learn and connect. And so part of it for me was building an app and working on app development for our church so that people will have this space that they could then trust. You know,
Right.
they would trust that other people in there are members of the church and they could communicate with one another.
Mm,
So it's just, I don't know, it's just the innovation part is always so important to me.
yeah.
Even back when my pharmaceutical days, I was honored by Astra Merck Pharmaceuticals for customer service and innovation, which was, you know, it was actually in the corporate report. And so it was awesome to be able to see how we could think through, how a person can think through
Mhm,
something different. You taking what's ordinary for, you know, for us, it was for our sales reps or for our doctors,
mhm.
and then working on those relationships to see how we can do things that are different. How can we be different from, how do we stand apart from our competitors, or how do we stand out so that when we walk in the door, everyone in the office recognizes that we're different. And
Mhm.
so that parlayed very well into my life and ministry as well. So just, I don't know, just kind of, that's part of a mantra that I have is looking for innovative ways to connect with people, innovative ways to reach people, innovative ways to you know, help people to grow. And so I'm always looking for something different and something new.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And you know, when you said that, I was thinking, because some people may be like, oh, I'm not creative. That's where you have a team, right?
You have a team.
You
Yeah.
have someone on your team that's
And you're
creative.
being open,
Yeah,
open to try things and trust people
yeah,
with it. You know,
exactly.
because sometimes we don't trust other people with our vision, and we have to learn to do that.
That's
That can
true.
be difficult to say, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys handle this part."
Right,
Took me some time, and I finally got to that point, but it did take me some time, I'll be honest with you. It's like, "Oh, this is my baby, I want it to look this way, I
mhm,
want this to be perfect for this, and I want," you know, you have to trust people and
yeah,
trust and value their time and their input as well, and their experiences, because they are
exactly.
learning. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So I'm going to recap really quickly the 7 tips. So number 1 is embrace fear and failure. Number 2, set audacious goals. Number 3, cultivate a growth mindset. Number 4, surround yourself with the right people. Number 5, be persistent and consistent. Number 6, embrace creativity and innovation. And number 7 is forgiveness. These are the 7 tips on unleashing the unthinkable. Those are the 7 tips. And I'll also put that in the caption so that you all will have them again, so you can go back and you can reference it if you missed them. So, Dr. Mia, as we wrap up, we always seem to run out of time. When we have such great conversations, we always seem to run out of time. And so we want to wrap this up with what advice would you give to someone who is hesitant about embracing second chances or stepping into the realm of the extraordinary? What advice would you give them?
I give them the advice: first, be prayerful,
Mhm.
and then write vision. So pray about it, journal about it, and then do it. We hinder ourselves by the words we speak. We talk ourselves out of so much stuff.
So much.
Talk yourself into it. Talk yourself into greatness.
Mhm.
Talk yourself into a new space. Talk yourself into a brand new experience. Talk yourself into it. And don't let anybody talk you out of it. If God told you to do it, then it's yours.
That's right.
I'm a very practical person in a lot of ways. I put things on my calendar.
Mhm.
And if it means blocking time to do it, block the time so that you can do it. So you have time to think about it, ponder it, plan it if you need to,
Mhm.
but work on it. And even if it's something so big that looks just immeasurable, like you can't do it on your own,
Yeah.
take it step by step, break it down. There's an old saying says, how do you eat an elephant? It says, one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Yeah,
So,
in those small pieces.
yeah.
Well, Dr. Mia, again, thank you so much for being here with us on this evening. I really hope everyone, you enjoyed our show, our Motivational Monday show on this evening, and that you were encouraged, you were inspired, you were motivated to action. And everything that you heard tonight, if you are not doing it, that you are going to now take the steps to do it, or this may have just been a reminder for you to get that fire going and to do the things that you need to do. So again, we thank you all for being here with us on this evening. And don't forget the giveaway that we're doing. So we're doing a giveaway, and the only thing you have to do to enter the giveaway is a bag full of amazing things, is put hashtag shared the extraordinary. And that means you have to share this live video so that others will be blessed just like you were blessed, and put in there in the comment streets hashtag shared the extraordinary, and your name will be entered into a drawing, and we will do the drawing. And whoever the winner is, we will definitely announce the winner live, and we will ship you your prize. So we will be back next month. And so next month we will be back on September the 11th, because September the 4th is Labor Day. So we'll be back on September the 11th, which will be the second Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And we have some amazing guests. They are like super hot. So that's going to be another show that you will not want to miss. And this show is going to be tied into, I don't know if you all remember, but last year we did a show called Timing is Everything. That show was absolutely amazing. We had some amazing guests on, and I still get emails and DMs to this day about that show. So the show that we're going to do on the 11th is going to be like, we'll call it our annual Timing is Everything show that we'll be doing on September the 11th. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we pray that God blesses the rest of your week. Oh, and before we close out, Dr. Mia, just your last wrap up words. How can people get in contact with you, follow you, all that great stuff?
Well, wonderful. Thank you for asking. My social media handles are Mia Wright, MIAWRIGHT, on Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, it's Mia K. Wright. And so I just encourage people, they can find me on website, miawright.com, or they can also find me at the Fountain of Praise, which is the initials of the church, tfop.org. And if anyone's interested in getting my book,
Yes.
yeah. Unthinkable by Mia Wright, do the unordinary to experience the extraordinary. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. You can order from either one of those.
All right. Sounds great. And do you have 1, 2, 3 words that you're going to say to leave with us as we close out.
I like the title of what we had. It's never too late to count yourself out, but this is what I want to say. Unleash your unthinkable.
There you have it. Unleash your unthinkable.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everyone.
Jacquie.